Hey guys, it's Grant with Grant's Workshop. We're taking on water. So I'm down here in the basement, and this is one of my fun things that I kind of knew was coming about this old house, is that the drainage is garbage. So we've got water coming off the side of the house every time it rains, not going into a downspout, and then leaking directly into the foundation, and it's coming in right behind this staircase. Now I gotta hand it to them. This staircase is probably over 100 years old, and it's had water leaking into it for God knows how many years, and it's still fine, but it's not gonna be fine for much longer. So we gotta address this. And and this is Grant's Workshop. Okay, guys. Well, I'm just about to leave for work, and I checked the basement, and I got a lot of water coming in, a lot more than I feel comfortable just leaving it with. We fixed the drain pipe here, and we have barely a little bit of a trickle coming down, and we got good drainage coming out. But our problem is clearly on this side. So I got water just hemorrhaging over that edge, dripping right down here. But it's all basically coming right up against, oh yeah, right there. So you can even feel right here where this is just spongy. So they put this drain thing here thinking it'll all drain towards the front of the house, and instead what it's doing is it's draining this entire thing right into this wall. Fuck. That's not good. God, I can feel it's like quicksand. I'm just sinking into it over here. So they basically designed this moisture barrier backwards. Oh my god. This is not good. I think for now I'm gonna have to mitigate it, tough it out. Now that I've seen exactly where the water's going, we can come up with a fix in the long term. Okay, so what's the plan here? All right, so currently, here's the problem. Roof comes down like this. We have a built-in gutter and then a little edge. When the house was originally built, it looked something like this. And now, this entire section has come down. So the whole thing is angled. That means water's going here, and it has to flow uphill to where that other downspout is. So all the water is going right over the edge and down. Okay? So I was thinking, if this is the edge of the house, that we could put like some sort of corner here and a corner here, and then brace it, and then have like a mechanism that moves it apart, right? So that we can push this back up towards where it would begin. But then we run the risk, if we're looking at it in 3 dimensions. Okay, if this is our edge here, and our current downspout is this way, and this is our low spot, and I push this up, I could run the risk of having the low spot be further over here. So then water will just drain over here and go down. So we could end up chasing the low spot all the way down the gutter and not actually have it go around the corner where it needs to go. Okay? So instead, I feel like what we have to do is put a new gutter, downspout, onto that low corner. So if this is top of the house, goes over like that. Okay? We're looking down on it. If that's the corner, then we have the built-in gutter like so, something like this. Here's the existing downspout. Here's our low point. It does like one of these. This comes down over to the wall, which is back here. Okay, and then continues all the way down the side of the house. So I think what we need to do is we need to take the low spot, which is right here, cut a hole, and then cut a hole on the underside, like this. Put in a new section of downspout at the low point, okay. Add in a curve, and then send a straight section over, and then somehow join that together. Now this is where it gets tricky. This is 20 foot in the air. Now I don't own a ladder, so I have to go get a ladder first, and then we have to climb up there, see about drilling holes. We have no idea what's behind that facing. There could be wood supports here, there could be boards, there could be stuff. The bottom section is tin, and it looks like it's made of wood, but it's actually a formed tin section where all the water's pooling. We really don't have a way to anchor this to anything, so it's just kind of hanging out here in space. And here's what I'm thinking for getting this to work, okay? So let's say this is our existing downspout. This isn't gonna look as cool as it could. We're gonna take 4 inch, so this is 4-inch pipe, downspout pipe. We're gonna take a 4-inch PVC pipe here like this. Okay, cut the section out. It's one of those PVC pipes that's used for like sewer projects. So it'll have a little Y. Now it's not gonna look the best, but I don't as necessarily care about looks as much as I care about functionality. On the bottom of this is gonna have a reducer. So this reduces it down to 3 inches, and then the existing downspout, it goes in there, and then this kind of loops into the top, and then I'll anchor it with screws. So that way the existing pipe is still fine, the drain integrity of that, but we have this really nice kind of leak-proof, foolproof Y connection, which we can spray paint white to make it look like the rest of it. And then coming in from our new downspout location, we can have our curve, and then we can angle that, hopefully directly in, and then anchor that with screws, so that we're getting from the low spot, all the water's going down through here and down into our existing downspout. That should make everything drain better. And that's our first step, just to make sure that we don't have tons and tons of water coming off that side of the house and then all of it going onto the ground and then into the basement. So we'll see if that works. First step though, is getting up there. We gotta get some supplies. So I discovered that it was leaking. Realistically speaking, the magic of YouTube video editing is gonna make this all seem like it happened really quickly, but I discovered this in like early February when we got our first warm day and it started to thaw, and I got water coming in here, right? And then we ordered parts, and then we waited, like everybody in the whole world. And so I ended up, here we are in May, trying to get this fixed. And I ordered parts from Menards, and I wanted it to match the house so that it looked decent, right? And it took almost 2 months to get the stuff in. So the stuff's here, and today is the day we're gonna try to fix this. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Well, hopefully we can do it with one elbow because they didn't pack the other way. Okay, so close up. It looks like there was a hole or a leak here already. Somebody really patched it and then jammed a bunch of sealant or something over it. There's the corner, and up there is where we have to drill through, and now those gutters aren't all the way to the edge. So I think if we drill through this edge, but I don't know what's holding it up. And then this, it's kind of sketchy, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Okay, I'm back in the kitchen, and I'm trying to brainstorm a way where we can go up there, up the ladder with tools, get a hole cut in the bottom of that tin facing, and kind of poke around and get it ready for drilling through from the top safely. And safety is the key here, because what I don't want to have happen is something slips, or I drop something, or the ladder falls down, or yeah, no, that's not good. So here's what I'm trying to do safety-wise. I have this already rigged up, and this is just a cheapo like tool carrying bag, right? You can get them at like Harbor Freight, and it's got a shoulder strap, which is handy, but also what I've done is I've rigged up some paracord to it, so that if I need to, I can stay at the top of the ladder, lower this down without breaking any of my tools, and then safely climb down. Tools we're gonna be using, I think, probably path of least resistance, hole saw, just cheapo ones from Menards. I did not want a spring for the 4-inch hole saw, and I think in retrospect, I should, we'll see. But my plan is, okay, so we're gonna use hole saw, cut a, what is this, a 2.5 inch hole is the biggest one I can do. Okay, we needed almost double the size. So my plan is we're gonna cut the hole, use battery powered Sawzall to cut little slits out like a little starburst, and then we'll bend those tabs down, and hopefully bending the tabs down, hopefully bending the tabs down will give us something to anchor the downspout to, right? Because I'm still trying to mull over exactly how we're gonna hook it into the eave. And since it's way out in the middle of no man's land, I don't have a dedicated, we may have to rig something up bracket wise to keep it in there. I also don't know what we're gonna find. So I'm a little nervous. As soon as we punch through, that's kind of the point of no return. We've made a hole in it. We've got a thunderstorm on the way tomorrow. So as soon as we punch a hole through that, then that's it. So we've got all our tools. We got our Sawzall blades here, ready to go. We got our drill. We got extra batteries charging. We should be ready to rock and roll. I think I've got the ladder in a safe spot where it's anchored and it's leaning in towards the house. So we shouldn't have too much lateral movement there. The only safety piece of the puzzle that I would like to have that I don't have is right now I'm home alone, okay? So if something were to happen, I don't have an immediate contact, I guess, to do something, but I am wearing the old Apple Watch, so I guess if I do fall off the ladder, I can turn fall detection on, and then if I'm moaning and groaning, it'll call 911 for me. I don't particularly like that idea. That doesn't sound like any fun. But yeah, I think next step, and I'm not sure if how good the footage is going to be if I'm wearing a harness with the GoPro on it, if you can see what I'm doing with my hands or not, but I'll try putting that on, and then we'll see if we can get a first hole cut in the material and see exactly what our resistance is. My worry is that there's where those two come together on the outside, that there's a board in the middle that I'm going to be basically drilling through. And I don't like the idea of drilling through boards. So we might have to reinforce it with some wood. And since lumber apparently is more expensive than gold these days, we might have to make a run to the hardware store because I don't have any extras laying around. But all right, we'll see. Three points of contact on the ladder. I got my arm wrapped around it. I got both legs on here, and we're gonna try to steady this and get it through. Now, I'm kind of feeling, I think it's, more central here. We don't want to get too far to the edge, so. Oh, that was almost too easy. Okay, so that makes sense. Something I didn't anticipate is that since the water's been coming down through this corner, there's tons of debris here. Oh, there's a ton. Ugh. And we got a straight shot. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be hooked to, but it's not hooked to anything right now. I'm gonna see there what we're dealing with. So we got a straight shot from that new layer that they put in there right on down through this edge. But I feel like our next step is to go down from the top. We could either run all the way around or climb up onto the attic, get out onto the roof, or we can just do it right now. So this is where we need to go. I wish it wasn't wet. I really didn't bring anything. Okay. I don't have my 3 points of contact on the ladder. There it goes. It's a little better. Oh, I'm in hammer drill mode. No wonder it's freaking out. Let's try drill mode. Holy shit. Okay. So when they redid this, they put down like 1/8 of an inch thick steel, and then this plate, like look, I'm almost 1/8 of an inch through it, and it's not going anywhere. Whew. And all I'm doing is dulling my saw blade. Actually, we're getting through it. And there's a hole right there. Right there on the edge. So, and we got the water so I don't light my fucking house on fire. Woo! Oh look, like a can now. We just we can push it up from the bottom. Then wiggle her back and forth. The top hole does not have to be a 4-inch hole, but that is the low point, and water will no doubt drain through it. Let's see if we can get this through. Yep. And there it goes. Clean some of that rotted dirt out of the way. Okay. We are now in what I'm going to call the point of no return with this project. We either have to put a downspout in, or we have to live with it hemorrhaging water. I forgot an important safety feature, and that is eat something. I was going up there on the ladder with just coffee, and I was starting to get shaky, so safety breakfast taco, yeah. That's fun. You know, you can never be too safe when it comes to tacos. You can always have an extra just to be sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel safer already. All right, something I didn't do when I should have been up there was I need to measure exactly what our new gutter piece, how long it needs to be before we hit the curve. And we got to figure out a way to anchor that up there, because I don't want the whole thing suspended and being in the on the side gutter there. So basically we'll get this piece cut, anchored to the elbow, right? Then once the elbow is anchored and in there somehow, I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, we will then point it at the existing gutter, measure the distance between the elbow and the point there, and then we'll install our little Y guy on the side, cut the existing gutter off the house in a piece, move it down, install our Y, tack everything in place, so and hopefully it'll be done that way. Let's go from our hole there. We're looking at about 8 inches down. So if we put our elbow here, that kind of gives me enough to anchor it on the side and then shoot it that way. We'll do 8 inches from this neck edge here, like this. And then get our sawzall out, safety off, and okay, we got our 2 pieces here. Now, from a previous gutter project, I found I've got these. These guys are self-drilling screws. You want to do as much of this on the ground as possible. I learned that the hard way last time where I was balancing and trying to get these to go. No. The other thing we've got are these bendable, I don't know what you want to call them. They're kind of like anchor straps for gutters. These are pre-painted. My best advice I can give anybody is you want to take your drill, whatever screws you're using, and preset these, because there's absolutely no way you are going to punch through this metal with it balanced on the ladder up against the wall. Like it's gonna be a huge pain in the ass. So I'm gonna preset the screws that I'm gonna use to anchor this to the wall of the house, and then we're gonna pre-drill these little guys in, get them knocked in that way, and go back up, measure my remaining cross section here, and then if we measure the remaining cross section, we should be able to cut that, tack it on there, and we'll be ready to see about cutting the actual downspout of the house. Now I'm a little worried about that part. Our piercing gutter screws. Now I think part of I would normally do 3 to anchor this in. Normally, like I do this all the time. Yeah, like this is my second time ever building a downspout. But normally I put 3 in. And we also want to minimize, if we're looking inside here, we're trying to minimize the amount of things that are poking in that stuff could get caught on. I feel like we're gonna have some extra. See how rotted this is? You can just shove that right on up there. Oh, I mean, it kind of stays on its own, I guess, but it's looking from the top, because it's looking not bad. It's going straight down. Okay. I still would feel better anchoring it somehow. All right, so now we got this guy angled straight towards our downspout here, and we are almost exactly 36 inches from the edge there, or 37 with our space. Okay, and we're hitting. I want to try to artificially angle it down if I can. Right about there. Okay. I have some left over, that's good. I almost got 2 10-foot sections of this. I'm glad that I didn't. Alrighty, we got our upper corner and the downspout. We got a way to anchor it to the eave there. And next, we're gonna install this thing. Now this is a plumbing pipe, right? It is not designed to be a gutter. This is so much the path of least resistance instead of me trying to carve out a hole and get these two tin pieces to go. It's on the side of the house. I'm not gonna see it. I want it to drain. I just have to now figure out a way to anchor this in the section where that existing downspout is, cut out the sections here. So basically we're gonna cut it where this lip is, up top. We want it to go. We're gonna cut it at the, we're gonna loosen the downspout and drop it down, yeah? And then this has a reducer on it, so we'll put the other downspout back up over this, lock it in place, maybe with a couple of screws, and then this edge right here should be pointing directly towards our intake, and in it goes. And then once this is mounted, we'll thread that in, lock it in place, and we have our new downspout in. And then maybe a little paint, depending on how I anchor this, because we don't have right now, I don't have a go-to way to get this attached to the house. So let's go poking around. It's the sign of a true handyman if you can do a whole project without leaving the building. So the number of trips that we make to the hardware store today is going to count against our success here. So I think I have some strapping that is galvanized that will work. It's not going to be the prettiest stuff, but again, I'm not really concerned with aesthetics. I'm more concerned with function. Okay. There we go. Where our mark was to come down. So that's, oh, that's high. But it's kind of angle her in, right? So I feel like we can get by with right about there. Okay, once I cut this is it. I can't undo it. So, fuck. Okay. RTV sealant that is almost the exact same color as the house laying around, and we can patch our little mistake. It'll be hidden behind our rig anyway, but we don't want to invite weather in. Are ready to mount pipe guy here. We got our toolbox, which we can now anchor on the ladder like so. All right, so our goal is to get, it's gonna go something like this. We need this one to go down, and like I thought, it's not budging, so we need to lower it. Figure out how they anchored this to the wall. And hopefully it's not nails. And it looks like it's nails. Okay. Beautiful. Just like that. That points over there. And then that'll come up. Okay, it's like I planned this. Okay. We'll do the top one first. Okay, like so. We'll wrap that around and check this baby in place. That's pointed basically where we need it to go. That's not going anyplace. All right, we'll cut the excess off so it looks a little nicer. My insert, this is the part that I didn't want to do on the ladder, but I don't think we have a choice, is where we try to get some of these finicky aluminum screws here to go through this material without dropping any or without
hurting ourselves. Come on. Let's try one inside. Oh, well, that was easy. A moment of truth here, so put this guy up here, and it's way too long. We need it cut about here. Let's try that. All right, we're on the home stretch, and I eyeballed the measurement and I cut the pipe like an inch too short. It'll work. But I've got enough spare material. I don't want to just let it sit up there like that. So we're going to remeasure it correctly, recut it, tack this long piece together again, and then put it all together, and then we're done. That's the last step. So, but we might as well do it right. You know, if we screwed up measuring, that's on me, and that's why I ordered extra. So this is now weird scrap that we can use later, and this is our new piece that is longer than the other one. Okay, last piece of our puzzle here, right? So we got our thing in. We need to hold it up against. Okay. Take a look at the top here, though. So, oh goodness. If you look down, actually, that's not terrible. You know, it kind of automatically slopes down. I'm worried about water going around the edge and then not coming in. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna take this guy here. I'll go get another one at the hardware store and put it in this so that the water should presumably follow that mesh down and then into our downspout and not come out over the edge. Now this is tilted here, and look at that. So if the water's coming off of the roof with enough force, it's gonna go and miss this completely. So I don't know if it's worthwhile to build up like a fake edge right here. I don't know, we'll see. I bet this isn't gonna be our last time up on this roof. All right, and that's it. That's everything installed except for one piece that I forgot, and that's the little insert that goes into the newly created hole that we just drilled to make sure that everything drains down. I borrowed one from the hole that's next to it, so we're gonna run to Menards, grab that real quick, tack it in place, button it up. But step one of the we're taking on water project is done. That's a big weight off my mind. So yeah, we'll get some razzle dazzle shots of it done, and do a little on to step two. Proof of concept. Water, so some of it is leaving the edge. A lot of it's going right here and right on down where it's supposed to. Oh, we got almost no dripping from where we just did it, and the little drips that we have are coming from that minor splash over. I will take that. I'll take a little splash over what it was doing before. Oh, I love it.